We don't really do that. That is what it is. Some of them work, some of them don't. Let's see if this comes on today. There it is. Hey, how's it going? Hey, welcome back to the kitchen table here. We've got a good one for you tonight. This is the Cars and Comedy Show. I'm Jay Ryan. We've got Zack Klapman is here tonight. That's not him. There's the missus, though. Our guest is going to be Zack Klapman, the very real Zack Klapman from The Smoking Tire. We're going to be talking all about, the LA Auto Show. We're going to be talking about Pikes Peak a little bit. We're going to be talking about the car that they're giving away. They're giving away a BMW 135 that's totally tricked out. Very cool. Is anything happening? This is all happening. Gosh, Jay Leno's in the news. Probably chat about that just a little bit. And whatever else you guys come up with in the comments. That's what's going on. We do have Mrs. Ryan here, which is why you're all tuning in. Thank you. As well as you folks on Instagram and our friend up in Canada Mike. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. It's good to be back. I'm very excited for tonight's show.
Welcome back. Remind everybody where you were. You were out of town. You were not here Thursday, but you were not in New York again. Where were you?
I was in Toronto, Canada. Very happily. I was at I was helping my buddy who has a sports memorabilia show at the Toronto International Comic Sports Cards and Memorabilia Show. That's where I was.
Sorry, I'm walking back. Just give me a second here. Thought I could do it.
All right. Hey, I met Sarah Palin there.
With your editing of your you're less verbose than you used to be. I'm still working on it. Thought I had a minute. Everybody's laughing already. I don't mean anything by that. That
was artful
serious.
Shade.
I just love hearing you laugh. I love just hearing you.
Well, all right. We're not even supposed to be here yet. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Take it away, Will. Good grief.
I don't want you to get drunk or I drink quick. I don't. First couple of times I was nervous. Well, first time I came here, I drank like gin in my car. I did. I don't.
Kevin, you gonna buy a beer?
Memories garbage. Well, no, I think I drank like, coffee and a gin, and I walked the door. I was like, let's do it. Yes. Right. And you got to be fast and aggressive too. Right. Right. Yeah, it's hard. Shifts. So they had to listen to you. And then you made your own dinner.
How's it going?
Right.
You too.
You have a co-host, she gets so stoned that she can't interject. That's how you planned it. Yeah. It's all calculated. Nicole blinked twice if that's true. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh my God, that is like dripping. Those are not bubbles, that's rain. That's just soap. I mean, there's some bubbles.
The world's best
That's like
bubble
20% liquid soap falling out of the sky.
The world's best bubble soap is brought to you by Bubbletree.
I feel like I'm really auditioning for a job in the Valley now. Yeah. I'm just getting sprayed in the face.
You did not say that. Oh, no, I know what he means. Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, November 15th. Holy crow, it's almost the end of the year. 2022, Nicole Ryan, Jay Ryan, to my right, left. To my left, your right, is Zack Klapman. And up in Canada, we have Canada Mike, who I can't help but notice, you previously were very well lit in there, and now all of a sudden it kind of looks like you've just painted or you're about to paint. Everything has been stripped from the walls. Nothing is on the shelf. There's just one light there. We would call that a ghost light in the theater. What's going on, everybody?
Yes, sir.
You want to fill us in?
The renovation is taking place.
Wow. Congratulations.
As opposed to the revolution, which will not be televised. But the renovation is taking place, and we're very excited. This will probably be the last time you ever see me shot on this wall. Soon we'll be shot on the other wall, which right now is chaos.
Well, that's how these things go. I mean, you're doing it at home. We sort of have whatever this package looks like now, it didn't always look like that. That's for sure. So I appreciate your undertaking. Good for you.
It's going to be great. Lots of good stuff. We'll have a Letterman corner, we'll have a HeCast corner, and then we'll have a miscellaneous corner. So lots of places that we can shoot and lots of options.
I love it. Fantastic. For those who don't know, Mike Chisholm up there in Canada is the host of the Letterman Podcast, the actual Letterman Podcast. And it's relatively new, but it's really good. Highly recommend checking it out. In fact, people will think this is a crossover. It's not a crossover. His guest this week is the Letterman writer equivalent of Zack Klapman. There's a writer equivalent. I always told you when I first met you, I said, do you do comedy? And you're like, well, kind of, sort of, but no, but yes.
That's the correct answer, yeah.
And I said, well, you remind me of this writer guy that used to be on Letterman all the time called Joe Grossman, and you don't really look that much alike. You're just both wicked dry, both wicked funny, and I think you're both funnier than you even think you are, even when you're trying to be funny. How's that?
I'll accept that. Because I don't have to admit that it's true, but I'm like, I guess that's what you observe.
Is that right? Would you say that's fair? Just by visual looks, Mike?
Oh, totally. Yeah. You had told me that before, and the moment I saw him, I'm like, oh, I see where that comparison comes from, without a doubt. Absolutely.
Punching tighter.
So
Tighter, more.
I'd have to go higher. I'd have to go higher. With that, his guest on the Letterman podcast this week is that writer, Joe Grossman. So it's kind of funny that you're here on the automotive version. Blah blah blah.
He's his guest is the successful version, and I'm just the lookalike.
It's just different generations.
Higher pay scale.
Different generations. You guys are working towards that. In fact, TV's dead. I mean, what you guys are doing is what the future of whatever, you know what you're doing.
Yes, we've been working toward the future for 12 years.
People don't understand that, though. The people who found you in the last 3, 4, 5 years, they don't understand how hard and how long you've been cranking at it.
That's true.
Can we start with that?
Yeah, sure.
Zack Klapman's been on the Smoking Tire for 12 years.
Yeah, we have.
You helped create it. Isn't that right?
I joined 3 months after it was created. So Matt and Tom, his business partner,
Facebook
created it.
deals,
And
I see.
I see. Yeah, exactly. I slid in and was just like, hey, I have ideas.
You don't need that guy at all.
Just wait it out. Yeah.
So go ahead. How the hell did that start?
Oh, do you want the actual answer?
Yeah,
I can't tell if you're still messing around with me. Story. Oh God, it's all over the place. I joined Matt and Tom. I was writing about cars for a blog, so I started writing for the Smoking Tire. And then they said, hey, we do video shoots on the internet. And they said, can you help? And I said, I can carry stuff and drive a car. That's all I can do. And it's you just learn on the job in a lot of ways, in a lot of jobs in LA. And so I just did that. So I learned how cameras work, and I learned how production works. And it just kind of snowballed. We got the car show on the Speed Channel, and then that got canceled real quickly. And then we got the Drive Network on YouTube, and then Drive on NBC Sports. And I was there behind the scenes writing the shows and producing a lot of the shows for a long time.
But you were already into cars, right? I mean, this was this was an area you were comfortable in.
Yeah, I mean, I moved here with the goal of TV plus cars, ? Written on a piece of paper and no plan whatsoever.
That was the dream board?
That was the dream. I was just like, I don't know, TV and cars, and I'll find it in Los Angeles.
Man, you nailed it. I mean, it takes a dozen years, but you worked to create something that wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah, that's actually true. It was if I had waited 5 more years when digital media, became more accessible to everybody, I probably could have stayed in any state because you can make content wherever you want. But back then it was like, if you want a camera, you got to get some film and get a reel and come out here.
Yeah, and somebody who wants to use it, they're in LA.
Right, and then 2 years later, Canon was like, what about the 5D? And I was like, no. I could have stayed where it was cheap.
That ruined everything.
Yeah.
5 years after that, COVID or whatever. 10 years after that, I guess, because now literally anybody is everywhere on their laptop.
That's
All you need
true.
is an iPhone.
All you need is a
to work
ring
anywhere
light
in the world.
and
Yeah.
some copy and paste diet plans from dietitians and some good financial advice, and you can just become a guru.
Just need a list, right?
Yeah.
The top 4 things, whatever. The top 3 things, whatever.
Yeah. Or you mean as like a broadcast list? Like
Seems
here are
to
the
be-
top 3 things you need to.
Seems like BuzzFeed came out, and
Yes.
then everyone on the internet goes, I can be BuzzFeed, so I'll just be BuzzFeed.
Yeah. What is it about human beings just love lists? We're like, I know there's an end to this article, and it's going to be little bites along the way. It's like a small buffet or something.
I don't know, but that's apparently what people are consuming.
Yeah, it started. It probably started before, but listicles were a thing for a minute.
I feel like it was right when you were at the end there. It was going on.
Yeah, it was stuff I didn't want to participate in, so none of my clients answered those questions because that's all people do in carpets now. It's ready carpets. It's like, what do you think about blah blah blah, and then it's 10 items the next day.
Oh, right. Yeah. Here are the 10 things that the Marvel stars said about blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Reaction videos. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
The reaction videos are huge right now too.
Yeah, of course. Which is a weird thing to me. It's like you don't have to make the content. You're making content reacting to content.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a way, that can be its own form of content. It's like America's funniest home videos. You're just like, I'm showing something someone else made,
But I'm
then
putting up
I make
funny-
$1 billion, but
Funny sports sound effect or something.
whoops,
behind
yeah,
it and
dude,
change it.
or whatever they do.
Yeah, doing.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of those reaction videos can be very entertaining, but some of them I think it's just you're grabbing the SEO from person falls downstairs, and then you have 400 videos of like I react to person falling downstairs.
100%. Because it's always the best or the worst things.
Yeah.
It's like if we find a music video, there's some band that does some incredible music video. In the old days, it was OK Go. They used to make amazing
Yep.
ones. Nowadays, it's that guy we like, Ben Rector. Damn near killed her. Sorry. Anyway, you put something. Forget it. It doesn't matter. But you put something like that on. It's so spectacular. Like, oh wow! And the next time you go search for it, I find 10 videos of other people reacting to the video I was looking for, and they're equally entertaining. It's just not the original entertainment.
Yeah, some of them
but
are
they
really
have
good at it.
millions and millions of clicks, and now I can't find the original thing.
Yeah. I feel like we're like the old people who are just like, remember when you had to make the show? Now you can just make the show of watching the show.
You're
I
right.
miss revenue.
Chris Hardwick, she worked with him when all that started with Talking Dead. That was the first one that I can think of.
That was
Yeah.
weird when that came out to me. I was like, hold on. They're going to talk about the thing that just played for 3 hours?
He tried to explain it
every
so
day.
many times and no one got it.
And
Wait,
it's
what?
Not,
I was talking over it. What did you say?
He tried to explain it in interviews and to me, and no one got it.
conceptually, they couldn't grasp it
Yeah, I
exactly
understand
like
that.
you're saying.
It was a podcast on TV. Because now you have shows that are like, let's talk about our favorite thing. And that's what they were doing. And there was such a hungry audience for The Walking Dead that they would watch anything, even if it was
Correct.
It was the ESPN show it was the post-game wrap-up.
Totally.
That's what it was.
Yes. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what do you think about the crossbow move this one? Like, I don't know about that. Maybe next time we have to try a lance or something, or maybe just a real gun. Like,
Let's bring in our crossbow expert.
we need Frank Caliendo to come and do Madden's voice.
Well, what's really needed? Whatever. Well, that was the guy from Men in Black.
Well, I got a button hook pattern on these zombies over here, but see what happened is I don't know any of the characters' names, so
I don't know the sports
the limit of
references.
my jokes because I don't know any.
You got these X zombies over here, and then you got the Zero zombies over here.
The main guy always seemed angry. I remember that.
Wasn't that, I
that's
think
all
that was
know.
the guy that you ended up being really good friends with up in New York, in San Francisco with the MythBusters. Is it the guy from Days of Thunder? The main guy, the bald guy, shaves his head bald.
Oh no, he was really good too. The guy who was younger than him, also the main guy. Not that guy was evil.
I actually
right?
never saw an episode. I've never seen even a promo or a trailer.
Well, then
for
we
the show.
might want to move on
Oh,
because
well,
we don't know anything about the show.
But we did meet that guy who was really awesome, and he is
He's
in
a good
Days of
actor.
Thunder, which is
Yeah.
a Cars movie.
He's good in that.
Michael
and he's good
Rooker.
in Cliffhanger.
Yes,
I'm dating myself, but
Totally,
yeah.
and well, if we're going that way, Mallrats. He's Brandy
Oh,
Svenning's dad in
yes.
Mallrats.
He was
putting
very
on the
funny.
little,
He was
game
eating the
show.
chocolate-covered pretzels, and he's just like, I go home and just, and don't mind if I do. And then he gets him arrested at the same time.
They weren't just chocolate covered pretzels.
Yes. For those who haven't, if you haven't seen the movie, very funny movie, low budget, funny movie.
Smith's second or third maybe after Chasing Amy. I think Chasing Amy was the success, and then he got the money, and then they made Mallrats.
Oh, I thought Chasing Amy
It
would
went
be more
Clerks, then
expensive.
Mallrats.
Definitely Clerks first, but I'm pretty sure it was Chasing Amy then Mallrats, wasn't it? Or was it?
No, it was. It went to Mallrats next, where he got the studio money, and then it didn't do very well, and so they went back to the independent well for Chasing Amy.
Holy
That makes sense.
cow!
Because Ben Affleck was
I
in
really
Chasing
thought it was
Amy,
the
right?
Here's the thing: Affleck and Damon are in it, which is why I still think it predates.
But that's why I
must
think
be
it'd be
wrong
more
about it, 'cause
expensive
he
than
would know.
Mallrats because it had like A-listers or B-listers in it.
No, they weren't. They were Kevin Smith's friends. Matt Damon was sleeping on his couch.
Really?
For years, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Like during that movie.
When did they write Good Will Hunting?
90. I
Same
don't know.
time?
It came out in 97, I think.
Yes, I was graduating in high school. It was the big story, but
How about
there
them
were-
apples?
The big story that year was Nicole graduating high school. There was also a small movie called Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, won an Oscar, but back to Fairview High.
Yeah.
that
just
was
kidding.
a big. I was a really good student. So,
And athlete.
yeah, so
She did
all
both.
this
I believe
nonsense.
it. She's like, hey, I was really good at school. Okay,
back
that
up.
movie
I
was
wasn't
bullshit.
worried about failing. But yeah, that movie came out that year, and I was the only one that paid bet. All my college friends liked Matt Damon.
Really? But you like Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Wow.
In that
Fashionable
I
male.
feel like your friends lucked out. 'cause
Fashionable male.
I'm good at spotting what's gonna be cool.
A train wreck?
in
Oh.
10 years.
Oh.
And then
Did
fall
Ben
apart,
Affleck
and then
ever get-
fall apart in 10 more.
I've never been a Ben Affleck fan, and I don't mean that
I
he's
think
a
he's
bad
fine.
guy.
He's having a rough last 6 years.
I think he's had a rough life. When we were working with him not working with him, but we were on the practice and they were shooting Daredevil literally right across from us. So we would see them literally every day, like productions. You know how it is. You just become friends. And it was a bunch of famous people on that. I think his ex-wife was on that too. But he was really, really nice. And he was very, very troubled at the time. He was going through a lot of shit.
Oh.
He's still troubled, but he's made a bit of a comeback, getting back with Jay Leno.
Oh, I see. I mean, he's always made blockbuster movies. I personally, I don't know. He's not my favorite leading man.
I think
Mine neither. He's just got that weird it factor.
you liked him in high school. You're like,
Yeah.
he's got it.
Of the two, I was like, that's the guy that I'm more aligned with. I didn't.
Aligned with.
The guy
My
who stays an idiot.
I'm good at. I don't follow what I like. I know I'm fickle, and my opinion is swayable.
Okay, so you, Jay Ryan,
Yeah.
beat Ben Affleck. That's got to feel pretty good.
Well, oh yeah, because that's right. At the end of the day, it was down between me and Ben Affleck. Of
Yeah,
course,
because she was a great student and an athlete, she said. So
which means she could have gotten him.
She
I
could
mean,
have.
Brad
I heard
Pitt
it.
hit on me when I had rented a PT Cruiser.
see,
Brad Pitt did.
Yeah,
Jennifer Aniston hit on me the night they got engaged.
I know.
Not
We're
really, but she was very, very
meant
nice.
to be the-
we're so American. We're like, oh, they're being nice to us. Does that mean something? When I went to New Zealand,
Yeah, that's what I told my friend. Jennifer Aniston wants me.
that's
She could have had Brad Pitt, but she wants
we're
me.
so cold here. I feel like, or if we went and visited Mike in Canada, it'd be like they're being really friendly. Are they trying to fuck us? What's going on here? Like,
That's just how
so
they're raised in
cynical.
Canada. They're just good people.
That's what I'm saying. So
Oh,
Jennifer
oh.
Aniston was just a good person, and you were like, she wanted this.
Is she Canadian?
No, she's just nice.
Jay, try and keep up here. Seriously.
Jay, you're an only child. You didn't experience friendship. So then when Jennifer Aniston talked
I told
to
you the first time you were here, I go, oh man, after when we built that studio, I ended up liking you more than I thought I would. I go, is that okay? He's like, it's called friendship, Jay, right? It's
called
okay.
friendship. Jennifer Aniston just wanted to be your friend.
She was very nice. Sorry, anyway. Brad
Clerks
Pitt hit on you.
94, Mallrats 95, Chasing Amy 97.
There it is. So by 2 years. Yeah. So I apologize. I was very wrong about that.
Well, we'll retape
Terrible.
it.
So wait, Chasing Amy came out the same year as Good Will Hunting?
I don't know.
That's what he just said. Or am
Oh.
I wrong about the 97 year for Good Will Hunting, as would be she, if that's the case? Or are they both?
Trivia question: which one of those two movies had a fisting joke in it? Chasing Amy or Good Will Hunting? Nicole,
that's-
let's go to you first.
That's going to be tough. Here, let's put up the scoreboard.
I mean, my unexpected is Good Will Hunting, so I think it's that one.
Okay. she
Holy
says Good Will
God,
Hunting.
they changed the scoreboard.
Wow.
What the frig is that?
Yeah, the Eagles versus the.
I know, but it used to say Mrs. Ryan and Mr. Ryan and Playset Quiz Machine and whatever.
Oh,
the
they
heck else.
they updated things, so you have to change.
Oh my God!
You got to go in and edit it. You got to put zombies versus the zombie killers, and then we can do the button hook thing, and we can draw on the board,
And then invite Chris Hardwick.
and
here
then we'll just really break down this show. You know, what's the tactical advantage of the people in the prison for people outside the prison?
So we need to, and you're going to co-host this episode, but
Sure.
we need to get Chris Hardwick and Frank Caliendo in the same. In
Be
the
so
same
much
show.
fun.
Yeah.
All right.
It's probably doable. That's the funny thing.
Frank
we actually wanna
Caliendo
make
has
that
an
show.
awesome TikTok. He's like, here's how you do accents, knowing that almost no one will catch up with him, but he's just doing all his amazing stuff on TikTok.
But he gives away the formula because nobody will be able to do it.
Yeah,
as
I mean,
well as
because
him.
he knows, if you're going to put in 8,000 hours, then fine, you can go perform and you're not going to eat his lunch. But like, he's just telling people like, here's how I do Morgan Freeman. Here's how I do whatever.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Back in the day, Albert Brooks did that on Carson. It was actually his panel piece
yeah.
for Carson. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He brought out the speak and spell and the baked potato and all those different little props that were all like.
The baked potato was really creative. Like, if people haven't watched, whose impression was he trying to do?
If I recall, it was Burt Lancaster,
Which is a
it was,
pretty deep reference.
It was from a very specific movie.
Yeah. So he had like a hot baked potato on live television, and he
Yeah, I
cut off
assume
a
it
piece.
wasn't
It was
really
like
hot,
burning
but
his
he was
mouth.
faking.
No, you
that
could see
it
the
was hot.
steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And he was
So
really
it was
funny.
genuinely hot.
I think it was genuinely hot.
Oh God, so funny. But the speak and spell was funny too. I
Speak
can't
and
remember if that
spell's
was.
good.
That might not have been an impression. That might have just been a prop.
He was a really funny guy.
He is a funny guy. He's alive. Bob Einstein's dead. They're brothers. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Super Dave. Super
Totally,
Dave is
totally
Albert Brooks'
different
brother.
last names.
It's true.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They are different last names.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
Einstein
one
and
was
Brooks.
dead.
Or Eisenstein. Einstein. Was it Bob Einstein or Eisenstein? Now I'm having a moment.
Einstein, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is your reference.
All right.
You have to know it.
Shit.
I'm not Google. Mike,
I'm
quick,
so happy
help.
you're here. I love it when my friends stop by.
What?
Okay, hold on. Good Will Hunting came out in early '98,
Oh,
and it's
no,
Bob
I was-
Einstein.
I was wrong. And it's Bob Einstein. Okay.
Bob Einstein. Okay.
2000.
Also, the
so
fisting
we
joke
were
was in
both
Chasing
wrong.
Amy.
Yeah, of course. There was no fisting joke.
Say it
in Good
again
Will
after
Hunting.
Chasing. Oh, it was. Yeah, Chasing Amy. Yeah. Sorry, there's a delay, buddy. It's not you. It's us.
I'm just here to haunt children while they listen to this show.
Here, I got to do some business. I was supposed to do this before I even started talking to you. Our good friend Adam Ferrara, excuse me a moment. Our good friend Adam Ferrara is going to be at the Tempe Improv Thanksgiving weekend. That's 11/27 through the 25 through whatever. Thanksgiving weekend. You'll see him there. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's at the Tempe Improv. Go to the TempeImprov.com for tickets. Our good friend Byron Bowers is back, so we don't need to tell you to see him in Atlanta because he's back. But he's going to be here soon, so that's
Cool.
exciting news. He's going to do the rounds again. His new special is so goddamn good. I'm not kidding. Please watch it. It's on Hulu. It's called Byron Bowers Spiritual N-Word. You can just type in Byron Bowers. We watched it for the second time the other day. We had friends come over. We watched it, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. Loved it. Had some friends come over, and they just, one thing they kept saying kept coming up, and I go, all right, I know what we're doing for the next 50 minutes or whatever, and we put it on, and our guest loved it, and highly recommend. It's like
So good.
It's like really good. It's not just comedy. You'll laugh your ass off, of course, but it's, I keep saying this, it's Pryor-esque.
Yeah,
There's
he's
so
an
much
insightful
truth
guy.
and honesty and personal stuff that he's dealt with in his life there, and it's just really high quality, folks. So I highly recommend. And he'll be here soon, so then you'll know. We can all talk about it together. Magnus Walker is changing his exhibit daily over at the Peterson. Go check it out. Urban Outlaw 10. We had a blast driving the blue car over there. I don't know if there's 11 cars now or if he pulled one back. I don't know what's going on, but he is definitely switching things around because he brought the ice cream turbo in today. So go check that out. And he's literally bringing more stuff in the garage every single time he goes. So
He has so many cars. He's
yeah,
got a good collection. They're cool. Like, he just has a lot of them.
agreed.
Yeah.
But then also it's what surrounds his collection. He kind of curates
Yes.
everything, and then he brought all that stuff too.
Oh, wow. It's like his garage is now at the Peterson.
100%.
Wow.
And that was kind of his goal. Do you know that little vault room, the little white vault room where
Yeah.
they had like the Lufka cult and the Formula One exhibit and stuff?
Yeah, down in, yes.
That's where it is, and the walls are covered.
Oh,
And
wow.
they've never had it done before. They were like, well, I don't know. I guess if you fill the holes, sure.
Can you take off this tape? Yeah.
They were.
Wow, I bet. Yeah. They probably spent a lot of time and money like painting and shellacking those walls, and then,
Isn't that the basement of a department store? It's in real life.
in the
it was-
Peterson?
Yeah.
Well,
In real life.
But now it's, what do you mean in real life?
I mean, oh yeah, good point.
Do I know what you're talking about, or do you know what you're talking about?
I rarely
It's
know
the
what I'm talking
basement
about.
of the Peterson Automotive Museum.
But it used to be a department store. Isn't that right?
Yeah, but okay, but now it's not. So now
No,
they
my
don't
point-
want you to put holes in the wall because it's not
But
a department store.
But where you're talking about is the basement of the department store. It's not the museum where you wouldn't want to put a hole in the wall. We're talking about concrete and like pillars and stuff, aren't we?
Are you talking about the vault where it's just the parking lot that's underground, or they
That
have
little room that's off of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think it's a nice looking room. I'm just.
I agree with you. But if you look closely, it's just a concrete
Look,
room.
I'm a 3M tape person. You're a screws person, but we make it work.
3M
okay.
tape would work better on that concrete,
Yeah.
I bet.
You know,
Is that
you
right?
hang pictures and I'll stick them to the wall. More easily removed.
In my mind, I'm going impact drill, and I thought it was so much work. Maybe 3M tape.
I think just 3M tape.
You're so smart, Zack.
Let's go
Klapman.
to the audience and find out what they think.
That's
Any
right.
contractors out there?
I also have to keep these up here. Let's see. Driving Psyche says, on today's show, ultimate car-centric team. All right. I think they're talking about us.
Your reaction is, all right.
What do you make of that? He's probably talking about us.
Yeah, I think
Makes
he
me
is. 'Cause
uncomfortable.
he's talking about the show.
Someone saying that anything that I'm involved with is the ultimate anything makes me uncomfortable. So
I know,
I'm just
but-
moving on.
I know, but there's something about this place that is incredibly professional. Late night television.
Everything but me.
I mean that. And then, but I feel like if you put that question up on like Leno, we can segue. Hey, they would have like a bit written on that question, like we bring up this question because blah blah blah, and you just look at it and you went, okay.
All right. Well, I mean, you probably are giving me lessons on how to make this show better and how to do this job better.
I don't know how to do this better. This is very complicated. You do a very good job.
Thank you. You do.
Remember the first
exact
time I was
same
here and we
thing.
sucked each other's dicks? We complimented for 10 minutes and I was like, you want to jerk each other off? And Nicole lost her mind.
Oddly enough, I don't recall that. Anyway, the board for Fast Toy Drive down at the Marconi was a blast this weekend. We had a wonderful time. Congratulations to the Marconi Museum as well as Sebastian with OI, who did a wonderful job raising, I think it was like $40,000 worth of toys. It was a tremendous tremendous amount of toys. They filled up a whole racing trailer as well as a bunch of CHP cruisers and a Hummer, and it was just really cool. Some fire trucks. It was really cool and amazing.
That's great.
And the turnout was spectacular. So thanks to everybody who came out to show support for both Marconi and Sebastian. Good groups. All right, now the fun stuff. Sorry. I don't know what that implies. Anyway, hello-deli.com is your only source for officially licensed Late Show with David Letterman merchandise. Go to hello-deli.com and say hello to our friend Rupert, who sponsors the official Letterman podcast hosted by Mike Chisholm. Tell Rupert that Nicole says hello, because not only does Rupert love Nicole, but also oftentimes Nicole.
I cannot.
Yeah, she's got MS, and sometimes words are tough. Zach knows. Mm-hmm. You have to deal with that. You have anybody in your life who has any kind of like anything like that? You got one of these?
Well, I know Nicole.
Oh yeah, that counts.
No, I think I'm lucky. I mean,
Really?
my grandma, but she's 100. So,
What's her issue other than age?
well, she's like alive and animated, but can't form any words and thoughts into sentences. So,
She's kind of ahead of you.
Tell her tonight because I can't.
it feels like this got really dark.
It's how we get through it,
Okay.
man. It's how we get through it. We have to.
Yeah, no, you can tell my grandma's having thoughts, but all she can do is like move paper around and then just say the same word over and over again. But like 5 years ago, she was sharp as a tack, very like
At
really
95?
intelligent. Yeah, like
Well, that
really
was
sharp,
amazing.
really smart. Yeah.
So, I mean, all right. 100's a long time. I don't know what to say
It
about
is.
your
I
grandmother.
agree.
I'm sorry.
No, it's 100. It's like, wait, whatever. You won. She won. She fine.
I don't know how I
Take
got
a break.
myself into this. All right, let's wrap this up.
I know,
All
you
right,
have the
read
shovel,
the cards
so.
here. This episode is brought to you in part by Series 1 Films. Series 1 Films is your complete resource to develop your brand identity and marketing using video, ads, and SEO to help your automotive business reach more customers. Send Series 1 Films a message today to find out more. At series1films.com, series1films.com.
Series1films.com.
And our friend up in Canada will denote that when you're spelling it into Google, the one is a number one. Is a number. I can't get over how we're all professional with like you have this full brand new HD camera, but you look like you're in some place you just moved.
He
in.
looks
It's
like he's about to
hilarious.
read a ghost story written by Steven Seagal. And he's... Nice to meet you, Mike, by the way. I understand if you'll delete all of my footage from this show.
Zach, big fan, long-time listener, first-time caller. Nice to see you.
You also look, maybe there could be a little bit of lotion in the basket going on in that place. There's a tiny bit of like, you might be, I see the window there, but we could be in the basement. It's hard
That's
to
a
tell.
good point. It's very dark outside there, so yeah, you could be in the basement.
Did I tell you I met Sarah Palin on the weekend?
Do you have, I wish I had a, oh, you know
Wow.
what? Go ahead and talk about it for a second and I'll pull a photo.
Were you reading books to her?
Oh, there you go. You got it right there. Oh, you
my
had the
God.
actual. Oh, wow. What does it say? Too much.
It says to the Letterman Podcast, good luck with this. And this is highlighted with, there's a story behind it. Yeah. So she put sarcastically, good luck with this on the photo, which was kind of delightful. We had a lovely little interaction. And when she found out what I was doing, she called me bold like 8 times in a row for coming up to her and asking her to give us a christening of good luck for the show.
It's hilarious. I think, is there a backstory there? Is there a Palin and Dave backstory? Is that I don't? Oh my God!
Well, she tried
I
to
just
get
remembered.
Dave fired, Jay.
It was the daughter, right? There was something about the daughter, and he misspoke, and he said the
Yeah.
wrong daughter. Oh my God! And then they wanted him fired from the show, and they were calling to lynch him
Yeah.
outside the theater and everything. Oh,
I have no idea what
I
happened.
forgot about all of that before you went to go see. Holy smokes! Oh
Yeah,
well,
it was pretty
good
great.
grief. You had
we
some
had a
balls
really
to
nice-
tell her and then to ask that. You were wearing a T-shirt
Well-
too in the picture.
Yeah, so I found out on the plane that she was going to be there, and I started immediately admonishing myself for not bringing a pants jacket. But I have learned now, whenever I travel anywhere, to at least bring a Letterman T-shirt because something like this might happen. A recipe for comedy might reveal itself, which this surely did.
Wow.
Was she doing a ribbon cutting at a 7-Eleven or something?
I can tell the whole story whenever. I don't want to take away from Zach's time. But anyway, needless
I
to
want to hear
say,
a story. 'Cause
I'm kinda
I don't
in-
know the Letterman story, so I want to hear a story. I'm just being.
I'm kind of
myself.
interested too. Let's go to the why. Go ahead, buddy.
all right. Well, so when I got to the front, she is with a hockey player named Ron Duguay, who's a New York Rangers legend. And
Okay.
Ron was going to be at this memorabilia show. And so I guess they called the promoter and said, well, I'm also dating Sarah Palin. Is there any interest in having Sarah Palin here? And they're like, sure, bring her on down. And so I'm in a lineup with all of these people with like Ranger jerseys to get signed and all that. And there's Ron and there's Sarah, sitting up there. And I figure, okay, here's how I'm going to do this. I'm wearing a jacket over my Late Show with David Letterman shirt. And
You mean you're
and I had
cloaking
this-
your fucking
yeah,
cloaking the
I
reveal.
was burying the lead for sure, intentionally. So I got to the front of the line, and Ron was there. I'm like, hey man, nice to meet you, but sorry, I'm here for her. And he goes, I get that a lot. I said, okay. And I said, Governor Palin, I just
Ooh, respect.
am really absolutely. And I meant, and it wasn't. It was real. It was real respect, right? Because so Governor Palin. I just want to let you know my name is Mike, and I just want to let you know I was a great admirer of Senator McCain. And she immediately said, oh, that's very sweet. Thank you for saying that. I'm like, anybody who sticks
She was just
to
running
their
the game
guns
very
and
fast.
goes for what they want to go for. Sorry, is there a delay? Are we good?
Yeah, in my own brain, you make perfect sense. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she was the running mate of McCain. Sorry, I'm just catching up on current events here.
Right. And during that campaign, not just the Sarah Palin stuff, but there was a lot of Letterman McCain stuff that happened as well. Like some very, very cool moments happened on the show because of that.
Yeah. Also,
but
there was
anyway,
that thing about how he canceled, and then they guilted him into coming back, and that whole thing.
and he
Good
was
stuff.
on the
He was always
news
a good
when he
friend of the show.
canceled, and they got the feed of it anyway. But I said, listen, I'm a huge admirer of Senator McCain. Anybody who believes in something and sticks to their guns, and I'm a fan of that. And anybody puts themselves out there. And she said, oh, well, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. And she takes the photo, and she signs her name. So at the very top, she's signing her name. And I said, okay, also, would you be willing to dedicate this photo? And she said, of course I will. No problem. I said, that's great. I have a podcast, and I'd like to put the photo up in the studio. And it was so funny because the previous 2 people that had come up to her She already had it in her head what she was going to talk to them about. She had looked at them, and both of them, she had commented on their outfits. Both of them. Both gals.
Meaning she's looking, so the moment...
Yeah, that's right. So she asks me, and I swear to God, I am not embellishing this at all. She asks me, so what's your podcast about? And I watch her do this. And as she comes back up again, I see the realization hit her head because she sees the Late Show with David Letterman logo, and she looks up at me. And it was almost in slow motion where I just said, well, I host the Letterman podcast. And she takes her pen and she puts it down and she just looks at me. And she's just looking at me, and then she
thinks she's being Baba Booeyed, right? But you weren't actually doing that.
She was wondering if that's what was happening. She was waiting for the gotcha, but it didn't come. She just looks down at me, and I just look at her, and I'm kind of smiling. And she looks at me and just gets this little smirk on her face, and she goes, "You're bold." And she called me bold like 5 times between then and the rest of the exchange. Like, she kept saying, "You're bold."
And I have to agree, buddy.
Well, anyway,
I give you so
said,
much
look,
credit. I didn't put these pieces together when you were doing it.
Well, she goes, "You really want to put this up in your podcast studio? Like, are you serious about that?" And I said, "Absolutely, I am. If you dedicate this to the Letterman podcast, I absolutely will." And she goes, "They're going to throw darts at you, Mike." I'm like, "I don't think so. I don't think they're going to."
No.
I said, "I'm an archivist, and this was a big part of pop culture, world events kind of colliding."
I don't mean to be rude, but sorry.
I would love it. And she goes, and you could just see her. She goes, "What do you want it to say?" I said, "Well, to the Letterman podcast, whatever you want it to say." I said, she goes, Can I say something like "good luck with this"? And I said, "Oh, Sarah, you say whatever you want to say. This is absolutely." So she wrote on there, "To the Letterman podcast, good luck with this." And the "this" was very sarcastic. That was going to be our little thing, but she knew I was going to talk about it. And then she just kept saying, she said it again. She goes, I can't believe it. I said, "Can I get a picture with you?" She goes, yes, come on over, show the shirt. So I took the jacket off, and she goes, and we took the picture. And she kept looking at me going, "You're so bold." And I just looked at her for the last time she said it to me. I just looked at her in the eyes, and I said, "Governor Palin, it takes one to know one." And she just looked and smiled, and she gave me a huge, warm embrace, handshake, and that was it. So
you win people over in the weirdest ways. I'm so impressed every time. He
lost the audience, and he got him back.
He's probably got 100 stories like this.
Yeah,
it blows me away. I bet if anything, she loves you, and if you ever meet her again, she will remember.
Absolutely. I actually want to have her on the podcast one day, but one step at a time.
That's a great move, and I tell you, I bet she would do it. I really do.
My only regret is that I didn't actually ask her right then and there. But
no, I think that was a good move. I think what you've done is great. Post that picture, tag her in it or whatever, and put the official ask out. Do it all proper, because you've already established yourself.
I'm totally with Jay. Now's the time, but you were so respectful.
Yeah, you earned her yes, in my opinion.
Yeah, and she.
And I think
she'll remember you, I think.
I agree. I think she was saying that you were being bold in both directions.
Yep.
One, by reaching out to her and saying all the things you did and then having, and showing up in this whole thing. But then on the other side, that you were willing to then go against the Letterman fans of it all that might think that was not cool or that was lame and that you were just going to go ahead and do it anyway. I think it's really great. I think that story is way better than I was expecting.
Thanks for letting me tell the story.
I agree. Wow. What was the Letterman Palin fiasco from back in the day?
As I recall, and Mike can fact check me on this, Letterman, a joke was written about Sarah Palin's daughter, and I don't remember what the joke was, because one of the daughters was in the news. So there's this whole story about her in the news. So they make a joke about it. But unfortunately, they made the joke about the wrong daughter, which then made it I think she was underage at the time. There was just a whole different thing. Why are you dragging her? It was a mistake.
Got it.
But at the end of the day, the guy at the top is the one who, the one whose head they want on a stake. And they were camped out the theater for a week or so, right? With, picketers and all news. They were calling for CBS to fire him.
It was a big deal. It was when the daughter was pregnant out of wedlock.
Right.
And he named the wrong daughter. So it changes the setting of the whole thing. And
People
know,
were like
just
personally offended, you know.
Right. That's
from looking at comedy as a totally different perspective. When you add that element, it's like that's not the joke.
Yeah, and that was never their intention.
Of course.
It
was just like
just
mixed
a
up the
mistake.
names. Yeah, it's a fact issue. Wow. And then that. Wow.
But obviously it blew over. I mean, you know, they handled it well enough that it blew over. But yeah, man. But it was huge. I mean, it was huge. It was huge. It was huge.
I want to look this joke up later because I'm just amazed. Like a mix up of names and the people that got so furious about it didn't go, oh, he fucked up the name. That doesn't sound very good, but it happens.
Yeah, humanity.
Not on national television in that ilk.
It kind of shouldn't at that level.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
No, I mean it should have gone through supervisor that went.
So many people saw the joke before it went on air.
Right.
What do you think about this, producer Mike? You probably got some inside info. You've been talking to a lot
Okay,
of
so
Letterman
if I have it right, and I, it's weird, but even since I've come back, I haven't had time to go and watch the whole thing again. But if I have it right, Governor Palin went to New York with her daughter, and they went to a Yankees game, and the joke was something about it was a whole list of things, and then her daughter got knocked up by Derek Jeter during the 7th inning stretch. I think that was it. But the daughter that she went to the game with wasn't the older one who had been knocked up. It was the younger one who was underage. So I don't even know if they named her.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like an inappropriate joke too, by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the Monday, Dave apologized for the joke. He read Governor Palin's statement that she made about it. And he read that on the air and then apologized to it point by point, but also, as Dave has the ability to do, he has the ability to have the last word. He also talked about the other jokes that were made and said them again that were appropriate. They were about Governor Palin and something about an airline stewardess or something like that. But
he revisited those as well.
Yeah, so he repeated those jokes, and it was a very, very, very funny segment. But as Jay said, there was protesters for a while there afterwards, a handful of them who really liked it when there were cameras on them, and they got together. And there's a whole story behind that. But yeah,
we all want to stand up for stuff. You just got to figure out the right stuff.
Yeah. Choose something that maybe has more meaning to like society as a whole is all I'm saying. But
Than a comedian who accidentally misspeaks.
right.
Yeah.
That's where I was coming from with that. Like,
Yeah.
not that it was inappropriate and shouldn't be made a mistake on TV.
It's
but
not Dan Rather.
pick your battles.
You know. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. That's right. We're doing this together. What types of toys are we talking about today?
Collector cards.
Sorry?
Collector cards.
We can't hear you.
Collector cards, probably. Or entertainment, whatever. And voice box.
You're doing a great job. You're
All
doing
the
a
worst.
great job. Everything that is valuable probably requires insurance. Your home, your business, certainly your car collection or your entertainment collection. Oh gosh, I got an email the other day. I cannot wait to tell all of you guys about. Except I think it might be premature, but big updates on the James Commissar collection about the Carson set and the Letterman set and all that stuff. Big updates on that we'll be telling you about soon. But in the meantime, if you have something like that, a collection of items or memorabilia, or those collector cars is really what we're talking about. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top providers so you get the best coverage for your toys. Simply go to the www and check them out at coverageforyourtoys.com. coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
And tell Jeff St. Clair that Nicole says hello because...
I cannot.
Yeah, that's good. I think we did it all. Series1films.com, StClairInsurance.com. Told you about Rupert and the deli. That's legit.
Is Nicole, are you going to get a voice box? Can you get one and you can make your voice sound like, God above and like thunderous, or just to fuck with Jay and wield
Can you
your
get the
power
one
over
from
him?
Scream?
Or
be
that.
funny. That'd be funny.
It's like 12th on my list, but I'll add it and look into it.
Hello, Sydney.
Yeah,
Want to
just
play a
do
game?
it. I would
Yeah.
be asleep. Put the speaker
Or
on the
Zed.
cat.
Oh, the
And
speaker
then-
and the cat?
Yeah, and then the cat will just wander in and stand on your chest at night, and she can just be like, "Hello, Sydney."
Oh, my God.
That's what
there
I
used-
would do.
There used to be an app for your phone. This is hilarious. I can't remember how it worked. If I would put my phone somewhere, or if it would happen on your phone, but whatever. Somehow you could have just like you could have the a sound from under your bed, be like, Nicole, I'm under the bed. Like just fucking, I could not be home.
Oh my
and you
God.
could just have it happen.
Yeah.
I could like.
Oh God, if you hated your kids, you could make them think there's monsters around all the time.
Oh God, I didn't even
Right?
think about that.
Yeah, that's what kids are all afraid of. We were afraid when we were kids of things under the bed. You just put a phone down there, walkie-talkie, and just send them to therapy for decades.
You're totally right about that. I didn't even think about it. We should talk about some of the official stuff that we said we would talk about. Are you
Sure.
doing anything with the auto show this year?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the auto show in the evening. I'm going to go to the Autopian booth and see my former employer and friend Matt Hardigree. He's running that place with Jason Torchinsky
No
and
way.
David Tracy. Yeah, so they have this
I
new
didn't know that.
venture called the Autopian, which is basically, I mean, if you're familiar with Jason Torchinsky and David Tracy, they both like really strange vehicles, technology, weird things in automotive history. And then David is like a glutton for punishment and can fix anything. Like he literally has videos where he goes to the woods and finds some old Jeep that has plants growing through it, and then he'll camp there for 2 weeks and get it running. It's insane.
Wow.
So they basically
That
left
sounds fun.
Jalopnik and started this thing called the Autopian, which is their two brains and nothing but their two brains and that kind of content. So there's no other new auto news or anything like that. Like there wasn't Jalopnik. Jalopnik's a very diverse place in terms of content. So this is just the
Topical stuff, you mean?
topical stuff. This is just
created
like
content.
Jason and David and so Matt Hardigree's over there running their website, so they're gonna have a booth set up
I
with
love all
Galpin,
those
and they're
guys.
partnered up with Galpin, so they're gonna be there with a
Dude.
pretty good setup of. They brought a bunch of Bose
Galpin always has the most
micro cars.
impressive.
Yeah, Galpin's Bose collection. Their collection is so interesting and like
Talk about diverse,
diverse
right?
and eclectic. Yeah, it's really fun. Like, I mean, they
fun.
have super fast Ford GTs, and then they have these weird micro cars, and then
Or the original Herbie the Love Bug.
or that like they'll just there's a lot of like whimsy, silly stuff in there mixed with legit race car, legit off-road truck or whatever.
Yeah,
they have
and
a good time.
insane high ticket, high dollar items.
Yes, there's a lot of really expensive stuff in that building. Yeah, it's cool. Go?
Yeah, we ID agencies repping them, and we had the VP of marketing here the other day, and very nice guy, very informative. Came from House of Blues, came from a world where we used to, and Live Nation came from like a world that we are familiar with, and it sounds like they're really making an effort to change it up and make it different this year than every previous year or every other auto show in the world has always been. More experiential, a little bit. I don't know if they would say younger, but the things they were talking about sounded younger to me, like having Formula Drift there with
It
actual
seems
demos
like
and stuff.
Heard about
they're
that setup.
making
Sounds
it
nuts.
more
It sounds nuts.
experiential and a little more fun than a lot of car shows.
Instead of just being
It's
here
what-
are cars in a building.
It feels
Yeah.
welcoming, and they're reaching out to different kinds of people.
Yeah.
okay.
So we're going to do the Cars and Coffee thing with them on set. Well, we're going to go to the preview day, I guess, on Thursday. Or
Yeah,
whatever
media
that is
day.
all about. Media day, yeah. And then the Cars and Coffee on the Saturday as well. And then there was something else they wanted us to come back for that was nighttime as well, and I can't remember what that was. So I guess we're going to go a few times.
Nice. That sounds cool.
Should be interesting.
My friend's helping set up the drift track, and he was saying he can't believe they're going to do it where they're going to do it. So I guess it's going to be pretty gnarly.
Did you see the map?
No.
They previewed whatever. He brought it here for the first time. There's one in the green room. You should take a look. It is packed. I don't know where they're going to put everything. I mean, it's all there. It fits on the map, but it's just like, it just sounds like so much.
It sounds like
a festival. It
Gymkhana
sounds like Forza
video,
Festival.
but it's happening right there. Oh yeah, I mean that's a model that's worked really well for Grid Life. So
Really?
yeah, I mean so Grid
I
Life.
mean, they didn't say that. That was just my words.
What? That it's a festival?
No, the Forza. I don't want to.
I mean, if it has
they're not
like
copying somebody
music
else.
and cars doing burnouts and stuff like that, I mean that's something that I really like seeing at SEMA because for a long time, going to car shows, it's like, ooh, look at this cool thing sitting still, and I don't get to hear it. I don't get to see it do what I'd like to see it do.
Give me
And
more.
So that's exactly. So that's kind of what they've brought to it is these, it's a show. I mean, like the Hoonigan show, and I think this year at SEMA was it Optima? Someone took over the Ford area that previous years was like Ford Mustangs and RTR Raptors doing stuff, and this year that Ford left, and I think it was Optima, but if I'm wrong, I'll get yelled at by somebody. But there's just a lot of stuff going on. So I like that is an element that is in more and more car events instead of just parking lot, parking on the lawn, parking lot.
They wanted to incorporate LA car culture because that's something that we have that other people don't. And I was like, that's kind of weird that hasn't really been embraced so far yet. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And that's when they were talking about the cars and coffee element. And I was like, well, that's kind of a weird thing. It does seem like it would be pretty easy to just, and they were like, yeah, we thought so too.
Well, we
so
hand
we're
out
going to
coffee
do
in
it.
Patagonia jackets, and that's really what makes the environment.
Sunglasses, maybe in the Patagonia jacket.
I mean, that's a funny thing to say because it's, I mean, for all intents and purposes, like the Cars and Coffee thing is just an outdoor gathering car show.
Yeah, but
where,
it did
you know,
start in the greater LA area.
It
well,
did.
Orange County.
I totally
technically.
agree. It was a morning car meet, which I don't know if we invented here. It grew and I think got publicized on social media here.
The issue with the Cars and Coffee was that it was not a car show. It never was a car show. And now every Cars and Coffee has turned into not every, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of them have turned into car shows. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, the moment the hoods are popped and you got your chairs out and the whole, I mean, that's a goddamn car show. Sorry.
Yeah,
when your trophies
that's
are on
true.
the floor and and you're cruising for offers, it's like, that's a car show. I don't know. The Cars and Coffee thing was always the more casual version.
It's true. But
You don't need a ticket or anything to show up. And
That
we
was
didn't
the
shower
difference,
in
yeah.
the old days, you know?
Yeah, you didn't have to. It was and you could come and go as you pleased, and people just rolled in and out. Whereas the car show, it's like, here's your spot.
Yeah.
You come into this time.
You're here
you
from
gotta park.
10 till 4.
Right. So I think maybe car shows noticed the popularity of Cars and Coffee, and they just kind of rebranded, shifted their approach a little bit.
Okay.
And then people who used to go to the car shows, they go to Cars and Coffee, and they bring their trophies and their chairs and, their whiteboard full of the specs and the things they've done to it, and then for sale signs.
By the way, I'm not knocking any of that. Like, I like all that stuff too. I didn't mean to sound like I didn't like that.
You sounded pretty judgmental.
I know, and I heard it, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying now. I'm trying to improve myself.
It's so hard. Like we're all trying to be very accepting of cars. Like I don't care what you drive. I don't care what you modify. Like have fun with it. If you're having fun, I don't care. And I think there was a time where if I saw a Stance Nation car, I go, that's dumb because it doesn't work on a racetrack or in a canyon. It's like, but that person might not ever go to a racetrack or a canyon. They don't care.
Yep.
They might see my car and go, that's stupid.
Yep.
And that's totally fair. So I'm beyond that. But every now and then you just like, there's these old tropes of, the stuffed kid like leaning against the car. That's like the hot rod show thing or the trophies. And it makes us laugh, even though we should be more supportive.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Everybody should do whatever they like. I agree with that. I
And
agree
then
with
we
that.
make fun of it too.
I think part of it is living in Los Angeles. We are so jaded that there is so much car. Go anywhere else in the country, and there are a few car things a year, maybe one a month, something like that. Maybe if you're in a city, there's one a week. Maybe that would be a lot. Los Angeles, there's like fucking 30 every weekend.
True.
And you can't go to the mall, and you can pick what you like the most because there is. So it's almost. I think it's. Being judgmental is a constant struggle. How's that? Not being judgmental is a constant struggle.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, for anybody, like we're very tribal creatures. So we get used to this thing and we're like, all right, this is our world. And then we see something different. Like our brain is literally wired to go, that's different. I should be suspicious of this differentness, which is stupid. But that's, what, to go back to the Peterson, one
I
thing
like
I
the
really
differentness, but I'm talking about, and we'll get to the Peterson in 1 second. It's more on the lines of
we're
like,
going to talk about the department store.
no, you learning something new is not what I'm talking about. It's just it's a matter of if you can go to this car show where there's 90% of what you want to see or 10%. I don't know what I'm saying. I guess I wish I didn't do any of this. We're very lucky here in that there is such a saturation of every possible car thing. So it's very easy to, if you're specific for your likes, to just stay in that pocket.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's healthy to do so. I'm just saying it's very easy to do so. And therefore, that sometimes creates the tribalism, the little car gangs that are around LA of like,
Right.
we're cool and you're not and all that stuff, which I don't get.
That's a good point. So you're saying if you're in a smaller town, there may be one car gathering, and you're going to have the hot rods, the muscle cars.
Yeah,
the
you're all going to
trucks.
get
It's all
together.
gonna
You're
go
all
to
going to
the
be
same
there.
place.
You're
Yeah.
all going to be together.
Right.
And nowadays, there are so many that I think people are getting to the point where, oh, well, I like this over there. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I like this over here. I'm like, okay, well, we don't like this. And I'm like, Jesus, I'm seeing the division start, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's. I don't want to point anybody out. There are car events in this city, either every month or every week, that are OEM specific. It's like brand, it's the only model of car that meets over there. It's the only one that meets over here. And then you can just go, okay, well, I don't need to see more of that all in the same parking lot, like 30 of those things. So
Unless I really like that, and then I'm going to make
you
sure
can go,
I'm there.
right. But I'd rather go to the melting pot, kind of like Bo Bachman's collection or the Cars and Coffee, where there's just like Malibu was really fun because you would have. I remember there was this skunk colored two-tone Miata with like the top chopped off and a roll bar, and it was parked next to a Nova, and that was parked next to an SF90, and like yes to all of these. These are all fun. They all have a sense of humor, except for the SF90, but they're all exciting things to drive, and everyone is sitting here and they're having the same conversation in the same cup of coffee in the same parking lot, and that's awesome.
Was that the girl in the Miata that ended up on Jay Leno's garage?
Yeah,
that was awesome. Yeah,
I remember seeing that car. I was like, I don't know who this is, but this person has a good time driving, and this is like Miatas. There's so many of them. They're like canvas. Just make it whatever you want and have a good time. Like none of them are precious.
Yeah. But you're right about the melting pot. I agree.
It's more fun. What I like about the Peterson is they'll do these things where they'll have a genre of maybe like a population of the car world that's underrepresented, and they just mix it up. They'll have lowriders for a month, and then they'll have stance cars for a month, and they'll have drift cars, and then they'll have trucks. And I know that for them, they're trying to bring in these other markets to see the museum, but it's cool that they're getting showcased instead of it just being like, well, there's supercars and these really, really old, pretty things, and that's kind of the mix. Like, it's really nice that there's a space that's curated to show off all the different groups that are in the car world.
Yeah, I agree with that too. So maybe that's it. Maybe just the auto show feels, at least what they're talking about, feels a little less corporate-y and a little more like we're catering to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have a good time. Let the cars do burnouts. I'm into it.
Well, there's like ride and drives in the show this year because
Really?
of all the electric cars. There's 3 different tracks inside, 3 different inside tracks.
Whoa.
I swear to God.
I believe you. A little 0 to 60. And
I don't know. They're actual like track tracks. I don't know what the deal is.
I'm not going to
ride and drives of some sort.
Yeah, they have good K-rails and safety. They were doing I think Skip Barber had a, whatever you want to call it, engagement fun thing at SEMA, and it was people could like hop in the car and go for a drift ride or then do an autocross, and there's always these experiences that are happening at auto shows that are amazing to me because they're almost like an old circus trick. Like like they used to have like the Wranglers that would go up the seesaw.
Yeah,
and they'll take 4 people for a ride and scare the crap out of them. And they look at the sky and then it tilts over and they drive back down, and they do that all day for a week. And nothing falls apart. But like if you're sitting in that truck, that is exciting, and your heart rate's going up.
Yeah,
you think you're just gonna fall on your face. It's cool.
100%. I love that stuff.
We agree.
I don't know that you would ever actually take your Jeep on a seesaw. We did one with the BMW at one point. Then they took the X5 up that stupid thing. It was like a roller coaster. Same sort of thing.
Well, you would never do that because those aren't around.
Yeah, if I had one, I would.
Get off the 405, and then you're going to go over the seesaw, and then first right.
Through the windmill.
That's Jay Ryan's house. Yeah, through the windmill. If you go over 4 logs, you've gone too far.
What about, speaking of Peterson, are you going to the Tesla exhibit? I just got the invite for that Tesla exhibit. We're going to go to that. Since it's the same day as the pick up the media credentials, I was like, well, let's just knock that shit out.
Okay. I don't feel inclined to go see their concept cars because I've seen enough of them on the internet, and I don't. Yeah, I have zero interest. We see so many Teslas on the highway here.
No, I know, but like the truck, I want to go see the truck.
Yeah, I know.
The fact that I've been saying from the beginning that will never, ever, ever see the light of day.
Cybertruck or the semi-truck?
Cybertruck.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry,
Yep.
I say it'll never happen. I'm not even gonna give you reasons. Like there's so fucking many. It just will never ever happen. The moment the shot put went through the window, I was like, nope, not real. So I say it's a gimmick. But I want to go see it.
Why do you want to go see it?
I don't know. I want to see how big it is. It looks huge in the pictures. I haven't actually been next to one. I haven't actually seen one in person. So
okay.
I'm going to go for that. Plus, I love the Peterson. I like to support them.
That's fair. Do the doors open? Is there like an interior? Every picture I've seen of the Cybertruck, it's just very black windows that are bulletproof or broken.
Same thing, but that shot put went inside something, so there is an inside.
That's a good... It's a black hole in the butt. The shot put just went into the nothingness.
Forever, yeah. The void.
Dimension.
The void.
Yeah, it went into the void. Okay. Yeah, you peek your head in and you're like, oh, wow, there's the truth.
Yeah, that's right. You look inside, it's tomorrow. I don't know. I like the Peterson.
I do too. I just don't need to see Teslas because I've seen so many of them, like in real life and on the internet. Like, it just doesn't attract me.
This is what I was talking about before. See, there's so many things in this town, you don't have to do them all. So then it turns out like, oh, you just do the things you want to do.
Yeah,
you've seen Teslas. Fair. I agree. Have you seen the truck, the Cybertruck? Like in person?
I think I have. I think it was there once before, but this is the first time they're gonna have like
people
all
touching
12 Tesla concepts or something in one room or whatever.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's something like in the email they sent. It was like this is the first time this many Tesla concepts has been in one place.
Shia Hawthorne. Oh, yes?
Damon McCarthy says it's bigger than a Raptor, and the interior is much like the Model X.
Got it.
Ah, there you go.
Jeez, Raptors are huge.
Huge. And now imagine with those stupid angles. That truck
I mean,
is so
you drive it,
ridiculous.
it's just
It's
gonna cut
impossible to
trees,
make.
dude.
Impossible to make. Will never approve. It would never get through DOT. Like nothing on that car
I
makes
totally
sense.
agree with you.
Absolutely
It's
nothing.
too
And everyone's
sharp.
like, no, he's going to do it. I'm with Matt on that one. And I'm not even an Elon hater.
I mean, if you made it out of foam, maybe the angles would be okay. I mean, there's ways to engineer collapse anything, but it just looks so unlike every other car. And I don't want to say that you can't design things in an original way, but like there are certain parameters nowadays with crash test standards and pedestrian standards that like this might not be able to get around.
And the hard points and everything else you have to design around. I have permanent scars on my hands from building a time machine, multiple time machines, but working with stainless steel. Mm-hmm. If that truck hit anything with those angular pieces of stainless steel, it would literally just turn into like a cheese grater. It would just all those pieces would just chop things in half.
Well, I mean, you would think they would crumple in some way because cars are also made of metal. Other cars are made of metal too. They're just not.
Is that aluminum and it just is polished to look like stainless steel? Is it grained aluminum? Because then yes, but otherwise no. Stainless steel is insanely hard. That's why it's like.
I don't know. I know there are cars that are made of steel.
Yes.
And they crumple also. They're not all made of aluminum.
Steel fine,
but
stainless steel different.
I don't know. I don't know the metallurgy of stainless steel and if you can make it crumply or not.
But you know how the Cybertruck looks like a DeLorean? It's got that polished
totally.
groove.
Yeah, and the DeLoreans don't feel like they have crumple zones because they probably don't. Because they're made in the 80s.
That's kind of what I'm talking about from experience. That stainless shit is hard. I mean, they make knives out of it.
They
It's
do.
not bendy.
It's not bendy, but like I know that I am not a scientist or a material scientist, so like maybe there's a way to do. I don't want to say that's impossible.
To change the
and then
metallurgy to have soft sheet metal, stainless steel? Yeah, not so far.
I mean, I
Not
know
so far, there isn't.
are metals that have a memory now where they can program and they give them an electrical charge and they change shape. I don't know how to figure
That's
that
true.
out, so maybe someone can figure
No,
out to
you're
make
right. That's
soft touch stainless steel. Like bamboo sheets. They just mix the two together.
The moment it becomes
That's how you do it.
more porous and whatever else, then it is just steel. The stainless steel is special.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Can't
not
you make
stainless
it
steel.
thin?
It'd be funny if all of this would be it doesn't even matter because it's like, no, that's just brushed
Yeah,
aluminum.
some engineers out there going, you guys are so stupid.
I'm like, this won't happen because.
If you're in the comments, engineers, please tell us how dumb or smart we are. We could be right. You might be right. It might be impossible. Like a perpetual motion machine.
Whenever I look at it, I go, oh, he was going for like, he goes, just make it look like the DeLorean. We're never going to build this thing anyway. It doesn't matter. Just make it look like some
That
fucking time
seems more
machine truck.
likely. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. Well, he's like, more future. Make it weirder. Like maybe it belongs on the moon a little bit too. Throw some of that in there. And they're like,
I mean, I like the
All right.
dreamer. I like that.
So do I.
He has a dream. It just.
imagine trying to see out of that windshield with that long. Imagine how long that dashboard would be. The
Well,
cab forward design of that windshield.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a Lamborghini or any sports car these days. The windshield is so long and the dash is so long so you can still sit, way back here.
Yeah.
So it's not just Cybertrucks doing that, but there's a lot
But I'm
about
blaming the
truck
Cyber,
that
putting it
is
all on the
ridiculous.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, you're like, look at these guys with the doors.
Cab forward started with the
Cab
Dodge
forward is
Intrepid
so
in 1994.
This is the first cab forward vehicle in your eyes. Like, this is dumb.
I think the Dodge Intrepid was probably like 90 even. It was probably before that. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Well, it is what it is. Jay Leno's in the news.
He is.
Yeah.
He's okay. It sounds like.
I think so. I mean, I sent him a get well soon message and stuff, a little bit more heartfelt than that. But, I mean,
Which emoji
I think he's
did you
fine.
use to communicate your empathy for him?
you're hilarious. I totally did.
Just
it too.
one?
No, I totally did. No, I'm always three.
I
It's
thought
always
you wanted to
three
work on
emojis.
concision. You told Mike to be more concise, and then you're out here.
The
throwing
emojis
multiple
are the
emojis.
concision. Do you understand that? People don't seem to get that. They're like, man, I got to figure out the emojis. Throw out the words. You only need the emojis, like hieroglyphs.
That's what I'm saying. But
Oh.
which one did you choose?
I'm looking. Get well soon. Sending love and good vibes for a speedy recovery. The Ryans. My usual. This, heart, and checkered flag.
Because cars.
Because cars.
Because cars.
Yeah.
He likes cars.
I heard he likes
Yeah.
cars.
Okay. I see. And I like you got your plug in there for the Friday Good Vibes Breakfast Club also. You had good vibes. See? Brand continuity.
The last time we
Wow.
saw him was we were coming down and he was going up. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Jay Ryan just getting a commercial into the card you sent Jay Leno.
What do you mean a commercial? It's not even a car. It's not even anything.
Hey, dear Jay, I hope you smoke more tires and less face. Signed, Zach.
Yeah. Zach the comedian
Get
Klapman.
well soon. He'd be like, never heard of you.
have to have worked with him a bunch, right?
I met him once. I went and did a tour of his place, which is the greatest place in the world.
Well, it's a crime scene now.
Yeah. Looks like the Chicago fire.
Oh, my goodness.
Or a more recent reference, if someone has
Yeah, that's right. From 1839 or whatever.
Has anything been on fire since then?
Malibu.
Oh, that's true.
Too soon.
What were we talking about?
Jay Leno.
I met him then, and I think it's something else. But
I feel
like at Cars and Coffee, he's shaking my hand. It's like, oh yeah, how you doing? But
I feel like you guys are just always in the same place.
we're in similar circles. But he had a gasoline fire of some kind, and his face got burned. Is all I know and all I heard.
Yeah, I have heard mixed things. Both that might have been an exhaust type of thing, like maybe he was near the guy and there was some sort of backfire type of deal. But then also I've heard the car just engulfed in flames or something, which totally happens when you're working on it. I mean, it's not, you don't want it to happen, but it does happen sometimes. You're spraying something in the carb or you're trying to get going and there's a leak.
Like
anything
carb
could
starter,
happen.
which is just more flammable gasoline.
But everybody in the world,
I know.
We all do it.
Yeah. It seemed, from what I read, there was the article said there was a garage fire. So it sounded like there was something larger than a backfire of some kind. And it burned some of his face.
But not his
he's
eye or
okay.
his ear.
Yeah, that's good.
Really good for
Yeah.
burns, yeah.
Yikes.
I just have a feeling that it's probably not that bad. I'm hoping. For some reason, my intuition says that it's not that bad, and I hope that's the case.
I hope so, too. I hope you're right. I have nothing to add to that. I'm not going to be.
We should speculate.
Yeah.
We should speculate. So will he look like Sloth
I don't want to be
afterwards?
controversial on this.
Or
And be like,
Freddy
you know
Krueger?
what? I'm going to take the other side of this, Jay.
I say no recovery.
Yeah, was it Crossfire? That's the show. Like, actually, I'll take the other side of it.
Point counterpoint.
No. I mean, he has so many very, very old cars that run on so many different fuels.
Some of them
So
are
I'm glad.
steam. Maybe that's a good call. Although that requires
Steam
fire
could
too,
burn
doesn't
you
it?
Terribly.
So there's two different things there. You could have the fire or the steam. Maybe that's worse.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I learned this when I was a kid. Like, steam can burn you more severely than hot water or air because it's just whatever it is. It can get hotter than boiling water or something like that.
Really?
Someone, again, the engineer is like, stainless steel, steam, some moron. It's very dangerous.
The other one was my fault. Huh. I have never seen an outpouring on the internet. Like he took over the internet yesterday. The same way when he popped his head up through the
plane?
Through
That was
yes,
one of the greatest things. That was incredible.
the Myers-Manx plane.
Yeah.
But that same thing, that took over the internet. Oh, well, we walked him over to Spike's. He was sitting with us at the table, and he said, "Where'd Spike go?" He said, "They're doing the podcast." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And we were just talking. I was like, "Do you want to go over?" And he's like, "Well, it's not really my podcast." And I was like, "What the? I'll walk you over if you want to go over." And that was the day he told the story, which was it blew the fuck up.
Whoa.
And but anyway, it felt like that. It felt like that where he was on every news source everywhere going, "Holy shit, Jay Leno again."
I mean, he's ultra famous, and then he is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
He is ultra famous.
But he's also an incredibly nice person. And anytime I've met him, I've never heard anybody say a bad thing about him.
You've never had the Tonight Show.
Right, that's true.
Those folks have
him
issue.
different. That's fair, but okay, I guess in a car world.
Hang
car
on,
level,
Letterman
nice
Podcast.
dude.
You okay?
He's the hottest comic in America, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey-oh! Yeah.
All right. Well, I think a lot of people like Jay Leno. I like Jay Leno.
I like Jay
So,
Leno. He's been
up
nothing
for
but
it.
nice to
Up for
us.
it.
He's been here.
Eventually he'll box Letterman in some sort of celebrity match on YouTube with
Dude.
Logan Paul, and then everything will be settled.
That's hilarious. They'll be back together one time in the near future, and it'll be on a version of this show.
Maybe Jay would go on Letterman's. No,
I mean, probably.
Netflix
I don't
show.
think Letterman would have him. But I do think that they'll both come here at some point. And that's a weird thing to predict, but I actually mean it. It might not be here. It might be out somewhere else. But on this version on this little thing.
all
whatever
right.
this
So
thing
you've
is.
read The Secret, and you're manifesting this.
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah. I could have written The Secret
They
when I was
hate
a
each
kid.
other viciously, but they'll come here and talk about it.
Yeah.
All right. I hope so. That would be incredible.
There's a lot of
Hope
great
for you.
Letterman stuff going on behind the scenes, which we'll be able to talk about soon. But the fact that Jay's already been here and the fact that there's real potential to do something with Dave in the future, I actually see it being a very real possibility, which is an insane thing to say considering the size of this tiny little show. But I actually think it's real.
All right. I would say
I
that's
wouldn't call it a
insane,
prediction
but
right
based
now.
on the way you're saying it, I believe you. So I hope it does work out.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, that would be insane. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I think hashtag game changer. Get Caliendo in here. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do who he does. Who does he
trending
do?
on YouTube.
It's the guy from the video games, right? But I don't know
Madden.
really what he. Yeah, but I don't really know what he sounds like. So I'm doing the Men in Black guy all the time.
Yeah. When
Oh, you're right about one thing, Your Highness.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot of mouths to feed. 78 million of them. He had a pet cat.
It's like my favorite. He's just trying to be
Comfortable in his own body. You know?
knocked it out of the park on that. That was
Vincent
such a,
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, so
the
good.
best he's ever been.
So good. I don't know. Caliendo did Madden, and that was what he got super.
That's the
famous
one I was
for.
thinking
But he
of.
does way more. His Morgan Freeman is incredible.
Really?
It's really incredible. Yeah, because he
can embody
his voice
those
is
people.
actually not like that deep default, but he can make it get really, really deep, and it just sounds like Morgan Freeman. I mean, so his range is incredible. Just watch his TikTok. I don't know his new catalog. I don't have it memorized.
What kind of comedy are you into these days? Because you're a big comedy fan.
I watched Taylor Tomlinson is hilarious.
She
you
is.
watch her. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
great.
like so professional and measured and really, really good. I mean, her delivery is
She usually takes her
incredible.
boobs out, and she's not very professional from my experience. But
What? Okay, well,
is that? Are we talking about the same person?
I don't
Wendy's
think
friend,
we
Taylor
are.
Tomlinson.
I think it's different.
Oh
I think they're
shit!
different
Sorry.
people.
Okay, sorry about that.
Right. That's okay. You're gonna have to apologize because Palin's people are gonna show up and yell at you.
Yeah.
She's like 27. She just had her second or third special on Netflix, and it's hilarious. Really
it is
funny.
a Netflix one. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
different, I think.
Yeah, she's really good, and
Do you know Neil Brennan
yeah,
personally or his special?
I just know of him. I don't know him personally. Like,
No, you guys are right. Different girl. Sorry about that.
He co-wrote the Chappelle Show.
Yes.
With Dave.
Yep.
And a lot of Dave's comedy stuff. That he reminds me of Jay in that it's heady comedy.
And I don't care if you get it.
And Neil's like that too,
all right.
and he's really no holds barred about it. Like he is the 10th of 10 kids, right? Or 8. There's a lot of kids, but he talks about it. He's an interesting, heady guy.
yeah, he's a very cerebral dude. He just put out a new special, I think right now, or it's coming out now.
Seriously?
Blocks.
I'd
Yeah,
love
it's called Blocks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
can't wait.
But he's got a bunch. He
He did
hilarious.
that.
He's
that
really good.
3 mics or whatever it was
Yeah.
called last time.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah,
About his dad, a
He's so
lot
smart.
of it. He's really smart.
he's very, very smart. He writes a lot of commercials and directs commercials and punches up other people's stuff. Yeah, he does a like an open mic night sort of every Tuesday in Santa Monica. It's like Neil Brennan and friends. So it's not open mic, but it's just where he's
Where at the
working
West
on
Side
stuff.
Comedy Club?
Yep.
You're kidding?
Yep.
She used to rep at that place when they were first opening up, and
That
they
place
had
is
no
fun.
idea what
I
they
like
were
it.
doing.
Yeah.
It turned into something cool. You remember that?
Yeah.
Who were you working with there? I can't remember. Somebody.
I met the people that were opening it. They had no idea what they're doing.
What were you doing there with them?
Helping them open it.
Oh, okay.
Used to do personal PR professionally, and then when we opened our agency, she opened it up to branding and all sorts of stuff. So she was like literally going to help them open it, like publicly.
Right.
And I can't remember what the hell happened, but I'm happy that it works now because it seems to be really cool, and our friends really like it. And the room was always cool. It used to be a little local theater they would do comedy shows in, but it wasn't like officially a comedy theater. Little playhouse.
Yeah.
And it's so cool, that venue. Like,
It's great,
It's
man.
weird you got to
It's
park
like
in the parking
half
structure,
brick.
but like the whole alley element, and then when you get in there, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's big. They have a bar, and actually, they knocked the parking structure down. So right
Oh.
across the alley now, there's just like piles of concrete, which is.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That like
For real.
5-story parking structure is gone?
Yeah, I went there. I don't know, a month ago, and
Okey-doke.
I was walking down the alley, and I went, "There used to be something here. Why does this look like?"
Why is this
like got
different?
hit by a bomb or something like that. Yeah, what is different about these two pictures? Like, oh, this is before and after.
Forgive me looking at my phone here. I just typed in
fine.
comedy store girl comedian because I couldn't think of who the hell I was thinking of. It doesn't matter at all.
That seems like a broad search term.
I know, but I
Might
couldn't
need
think
to
of anything
narrow
else.
it
Well,
down a little.
I know because you should have seen it was all over the place. She was doing the podcast with Wendy and with Esther. You have no idea who I'm talking about?
No.
All right.
Do you know who Jessica Kirson is?
No?
She's like New York comic, shit talker, really good crowd work, hilarious. Very
Love good crowd
kind
work.
of angry.
Love a quick
So
brain.
her Instagram is a great follow because she posts her crowd work all the time.
What's her name?
Jessica Kirson, Kierson. I saw her in New York. I went to a comedy show like 4 years ago, just random Friday night with some friends, and she just destroyed the whole room. Like huge energy.
Oh,
came
of
in
course
second.
I know her.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we know
great.
her, but from other stuff. She's been on.
She's so good.
She's been on. Was she on? What is she from? Crashing? I think she's on Crashing.
I think
that
so.
makes sense.
With
I can see that.
yeah, with really tall
oh,
guy.
and Pete
Pete Holmes.
Pete Holmes is so funny.
So fun, and the
I love
nicest
that
guy
dude.
ever.
Seems so nice, so funny, really smart comedy, and really weird. Yeah, I've seen him live, and he's great.
Yeah.
Highly recommend to anybody who is not familiar.
He
So good.
had a talk show for a little bit, and I completely missed it. I would have totally been a fan of that show, and it was like on a channel
on for
when
a
I wasn't
minute.
watching, and I just missed it. I was bummed.
I think it was on.
Like Comedy Central or something, right?
Was it? Oh, is Mike still there?
He's still there.
I thought it was on after Letterman or after one of the late night shows.
It
no?
wasn't on the network, no, but
Oh,
it might
okay.
have been Comedy Central. Do you remember, Mike? Nah, he doesn't remember either.
No. Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
I think it was Comedy Central.
Period. Next paragraph.
You know what?
Maybe it
Let's
was.
think about this. It might have been TBS. It was TBS because it was Conan produced.
It was after Conan.
Conan
right.
produced it.
Yeah.
So that is one of the big ones.
TBS.
Right.
Yeah, there we go. We all got there. And
You guys got there.
confirmed by the
Nicole and I did
producer
not.
over there.
Yeah. He's really funny. I don't know. Who do you guys watch? And Byron Bowers. I saw him, I think, about 2 weeks before he taped that special in Venice. And everything you're saying about, if it's the same material, which I'm guessing it is.
Yeah.
It was
Where'd you see
so
him at the
funny.
Townhouse?
Yeah. And
For,
like insightful and good.
Are they still doing comedy at the Townhouse?
Yeah. I think
that's
Wednesday
awesome.
nights.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Our friend Bronston used to host it, and now they moved over to Killer Shrimp, where Matt's birthday was. In that room.
Oh, that's a
they
good
do it
room.
in that same room where
Nice.
Matt's birthday was.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really fun.
Easier to park there, too.
Yeah, everything about that place is pretty easy.
Yeah. Anyone who's not in LA is like, we don't care. But
Oh, good point. Can we talk real quick before we wrap it up about the 135 that you guys are giving away?
Yes.
Is it tomorrow?
yes. The giveaway ends tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time.
BMW Rally Daily Modded.
Not rally. So we get this question like every week on the podcast, if not every day, sometimes in DMs. It's just like, what should I buy for, $25,000 to $35,000? And I need something I can drive a lot, and I need something I want to drive fast in the canyons and maybe track a little bit. And it's just it's a common question, and the price point is interesting because, it's a good chunk of money, but you're not in Porsche Cayman land. You're not really in M2 land. Like, you're below that. Cayman S land or 911s. So we got approached by this company, Get Entered to Win, and they said, we do these giveaways, and we, think we'd want to do one with you guys. And we went, all right, well, if we're going to give away a car, let's try to actually answer that question that we've been literally asked before. So let's try to make the Daily Canyon car for, $20,000 to $30,000. So we got a $19,000.
I can see through
2009
your
BMW.
ruse here. You just want to be able to send this video on to anybody who asked that question.
Oh,
from
yes.
now on.
This
Here's a link.
Going back
It's
to being concise.
Link.
Yeah.
Got it.
Absolutely. And then we're like, here, do this. As if covering that content and those questions answers questions for people in the future. It does not.
No.
But if it did, then we wouldn't have as many people, asking us questions, and we wouldn't have as large an audience because all of their answers would be, or they'd have all the answers to their questions.
Good for you.
So
Shows how big the audience is. Very nice.
that's right. You got to
And
keep
how
them coming
annoying.
back.
How big and annoying the audience is.
No, I think the audience is cool. They're nice.
for you.
They're nice. The beginning, we had a lot of angry people in the 2011, 2012, but they're gone now.
Hey, really?
a
Whenever
lot
I
more.
fill in for you, they are very upset that you're not there.
Good.
Yeah. Job security.
Job
right.
security. Yeah. That's my girlfriend doesn't know how to feed or drink water like herself. She forgets to, and all of a sudden she's like, I don't feel good. I'm like, have you eaten food today? Because it's 6 p.m. And the answer is no. And it's good that she doesn't know how to do those things because then I do my job.
She needs you. Yeah, needs you to stick around.
Yeah. It's Munchausen
I was wondering where you were
syndrome,
going
but
with that. I
she's
was like,
not doing it to herself on purpose. She just forgets. So it's helpful. Anyway, so we
She's
bought.
not doing this on purpose either. She just forgets. It's sort of similar.
Ironically, it's really similar.
Yeah.
So tell her to watch it.
I like abstaining from making jokes about Nicole's situation because I'm not here.
I watch it.
Yeah, I'm not.
We're doing it more
authorized.
because your discomfort is very, very
Definitely
apparent.
working. Yeah. Definitely.
We like our guests to be as uncomfortable as
like-
possible.
Can we say things? Can we not say things? Nicole, would you grab that kettlebell real quick? That'd be great.
Nope. Unavailable.
I have to help her get in the
404 error. Program not found.
You were the one who used to say, like, man, your floor is so clean. I was like, I vacuum every day.
This place is spick and span.
But she lives on the floor. She has to crawl around on the
Saw
floor.
me crawling around.
That's the
Like,
first time
what
I've
do
seen
you-
that happening, though.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's
I didn't know.
new
if-
since
Yeah, I
you
have
were
to
here
help her get in
last.
the chair. Or
yeah,
wherever.
right. So before that, I just thought,
But it only goes one way, so it's like a, it's a really fun slide.
was this place not very, very clean before
You
your
also
medical
you
situation
also
arrived?
know him.
Yes,
Like,
I do.
There's
That's-
Well, this is an
This is a
excuse
leading
to
question,
do it
Your
every
Honor.
day. It's an excuse to do it every
This-
day. Well,
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
an excuse.
Don't blame her for your neuroses. Oh, I have to clean
My
the
wife
underside
has
of the
MS.
desks because my wife has MS.
We have that blue thing you put on the mirror.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I have to take all the lights out of all of the fixtures and dust them because she has MS.
Well, that could fall on her. I'm not that bad, but the vacuuming is real. That's real. Yeah, I do that.
It's incredibly clean in here.
You're hilarious. You're so funny. All right, so the 135. So you're giving away a 135, but how does this work? How do people get a chance to win this car?
So if you go
This is not a cheap car. It's like a $30,000 car by the time
yeah,
you're done with it.
we bought this car. It was bone stock in good condition, had 90,000 miles on it, 95,000 miles, and then we got a lot of mods from partners. We got a Cobb Tuning, sent us a tuning, what's it called? Access port. They sent sway bars. We got coilovers from ST Suspension, all modal fluids that are like race spec, green air filter. I know I'm going to forget. Oh my God, there's
What
so
is
many
the
people
green
to
air
thank.
filter different than the orange one?
Well, the company's called Green Air Filter.
Oh, geez,
So
sorry.
I didn't know either when I first heard about it. Years
Jay,
ago.
read a book. Lordy.
We got a charge pipe. So we got a bunch of things, and then we brought the car to Avis Autosport in Glendale, and we gave it to him. And we said, because of I think who we are as people, and especially like Matt takes really good care of his cars. I take less good care of my cars because I like to do clutch kicks in them. But I want them to stay alive. But we basically we didn't want to give someone a car that's problematic. And so we brought it to Avis and we said, yes, you're going to install all these mods to make it handle better, make it faster. But please look at it and find, what are the maintenance items it needs, and let's address those too.
Right.
So like we gave it all new brakes because the brakes were kind of rusty. They changed out a bunch of bushings because they were starting to crack. Even some that were cracking like really tiny amounts. We already have the car in the air. We already have access to these folks, these really talented techs. Like, let's just fix all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a part. It's not redundant labor. It's already in there. So just do it.
Just do it. So we did all that. I mean, if you wanted to buy this car, it would be a little bit more expensive than our initial target price. But if you want to enter, you can go to go.getenteredtowin.com/TST. And then you can buy a coffee mug with Matt's smiling face on it with an M1 behind him. And that gets you an entry into the giveaway.
Oh, nice. So you get something out of it no matter what. Even if you don't win, you're going to get your little mug.
Yeah, you'll get a mug that should last a very, very, very long time unless you drop it or something like that. So, which is more fun than, I don't know, like I've entered raffles before where you just get like a ticket and then you don't win and then you're just, all
That's
you
what I
win
mean.
is
You get
sadness.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is something you at least you get something you can use for a long time.
No smoking tire viewers go home empty-handed. You all get this
Exactly.
lovely Matt Farah 135
Matt
mug.
Farah M1 mug.
M1 mug, excuse
It's
me.
an M1 because that's the center car we had from, I think, previous. But we drove the car in the canyons, when it was bone stock, and I forgot how quick those cars are.
Yeah.
And how good they are all around. I mean, even in stock form.
From
like,
your E46
Yeah.
to the what's that have? The N54 engine?
N54. Dude,
Torque at 1400. Yeah. Torque at idle almost.
Torque at all. Big fan. But yeah, torque from really low. And they pull so hard, like well through, triple digits.
No
It's a very
limited
quick
slip
car.
in that though, right? That's the one.
Correct.
thing.
I think you could get an LSD, but 95% of them came with an open diff, unfortunately. And we did not put
You could get one from BMW?
Someone in the comments mentioned like most of these came with open diffs. I could be wrong about them being offered. I don't know.
Back in the day, the company that made the one that everybody was doing in the threes, and I think the ones as well, was that Quaife company. Quaife.
Yeah, Quaife. I mean, they've been making diffs forever.
They were the ones who were like, "Oh, we got this covered" before the M came out, because the 335 came out before the M3 came out. Mm-hmm. And I was hardcore into that shit. I mean, I was buying those cars new.
Did you put a diff in yours?
Say it again.
Did you put a diff in yours?
No, I didn't. I ended up not doing it, and I don't know why I didn't do it, because they said it was only like $1,500. Oh, I know why. And then the IS had it.
Yes,
the
it did.
IS came with it.
Yeah, that was a good car.
And that was next.
So take that engine you had, and then you put it in something that's hundreds of pounds lighter and small.
Not that
like,
much lighter, unfortunately,
couple
but it's a
hundred.
lot smaller.
It's a lot smaller, and it's an agile little thing. But the interior space, still feels like 3 Series level.
Yeah.
So it's got a ton of room, ton of shoulder room, and the thing just hauls ass.
But corners wise, when you're in there, it feels like E36 style.
Yes.
Probably a little bit bigger than that, but it feels kind of E36y to me.
Yeah, you can feel, I think, how short it is. I don't remember the wheelbase specs. I think I had it in the first video, but it, especially compared to today's cars, it's a very small car.
Yeah.
And it's manual. And then we put the Cobb tune. I think it gave it like 60 more horsepower, bunch more torque.
08?
09.
09.
Yeah, they came out in 08, which is strange because ours is called like a year 1 edition.
Came
but
out the second year.
It's just black on black. And so we got all those parts on, and then this great body shop, South Bay certified collision repair. They repainted the front and rear bumpers, the wing, and the hood, which all had like little chips in it.
Yeah.
And
This car must look brand new because the
it
paint
does.
was already great everywhere else.
The what?
The paint was already great everywhere else.
Yeah, it
other
was.
than
The
the
paint
rock chips.
on the sides was great, but it just had rock chips in the front, and the bumper looked like someone had tapped it parking. So
Yeah,
we didn't.
street parking.
And we got a new third brake light because the third brake light was falling apart like old Parmesan cheese. It was odd. Like clearly made from a different supplier than the taillights, which still look new.
Weird.
Yeah, it was like cracked, and you poked it, and it fell off, and went, okay, we need a new one of those.
Oh, that's totally weird.
Yeah, it was strange. Suppliers, I don't know.
Somebody's going to get a great car.
Someone's going to
This is
get a
great
really
car.
good all-around car. And now the ride with the ST coilovers, it's sporty and it definitely handles better. But on the highway and bumps and stuff, it still has plenty of ride comfort because, you don't want to. We didn't want to go too far and build like a track car or something with 3 degrees of negative camber that someone has to try to drive on the highway.
So that's what it didn't say rally. It said canyon, daily. It was described as being like basically just the perfect enthusiast car.
It is. It's an all-arounder. I mean, that's like my car, my E46. That's what it is. It's every
Sport
I use it
upgrades,
for
not
everything.
race upgrades.
Right. Something you could use for everything. You could do a track day with it. Like the brakes, the fluids, everything in it is like literally it says motorsport spec on the motor fluids.
But reliable to go just drive to the office every day.
Yep. Yeah, they cleaned out the carbon deposits. Whoa. Because they took the whole valve cover off.
N54s were huge on that. I used to actually put that Chevron. BMW sells the Chevron. They make it like 50% more expensive.
Oh, they just
and
white
they sell
label
that
it?
Chevron fuel whatever. It basically just blows out all that carbon. But it totally works because like if you blow through that tank of gas, your tailpipes are black after. So it does get it at least from here to here.
Oh, wow. Because they showed
carbon
me
buildups
video
are
of
awful
it
in
was sludgy.
It's one of the most common. The high pressure fuel pump was the most common repair, and then the crudded up injectors from the carbon were the other ones. Fuel injectors.
And that's something that's going to be a more common problem with direct injection, just cars in general, like because that's what the injectors used to blow all the carbon off the back of the valves.
Exactly.
And
They're
now we
so
don't have
efficient
that.
now. It's got to collect somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. So if people want to enter to win, if you're listening, the contest giveaway ends November 16th at 11:59 p.m. PST.
Tomorrow at just about midnight.
Yep.
Speed in Motion says heard Jay was working on one of his steam cars and the gasoline used to heat the water sprayed on him and caught fire. Yeah.
Ow.
That sounds about right.
Wow.
So because it gets kind of aerosol-y.
Dude,
At that
that'd
point.
be horrifying to have gasoline sprayed on your face. Yikes.
And then ignited. Yeah.
That's what happened to Two-Face. Sort of.
Batman.
Yeah. What?
If there's one thing I know less about than sports, it's superheroes.
Oh, all right.
No, it's
I'll
okay.
explain them later.
Listen,
That's what happened to
This guy
Two-Face.
knows all about superheroes. I mean, he
So
really knows a
in the
lot
comic book, Two-Face had acid sprayed on his face in the courtroom. In the Dark Knight, in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, they used some artistic license, and that's exactly right. They put him in a warehouse. He had oil on his face, and that oil caught fire, and that's
Well, with a barrel full of fuel that spilled, and then he was tied to a chair, and then he fell over in the chair, and his face was laying on the fuel.
I remember.
And he was like breathing weird with the fuel, and he was worried about Rachel, and then the thing caught on fire, and then his face got disfigured.
And who are you telling that story?
I don't know. I'm just being a jerk to anyone.
was
who's
the-
like,
there
I
was
don't
a
know why I
lift
went
in
like
there.
this weird
Couldn't
nerdy
figure out who
list,
that was.
but because I'm like nerds would speak like this. I'm like, Zach, you've seen the movie 8 times apparently, so I think you're the
You're the
nerd.
one with the info.
I'm right with you, brother. Well done.
I'm such an asshole.
Oh.
I don't need to do an impression of a nerd who knows too much about that movie because I know too much about it.
Jay Franz earlier said, that's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing, Mike. They're talking about the Sarah Palin of it all. Couldn't agree more. Thank you for sharing that. I think we did it, buddy. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Do we talk about all the stuff we're supposed to? I think we got the business
You have the
out
cards,
of the way.
man. I don't know.
As if. I have these for this. You remember.
Did we talk about mute?
No. That's really for me. Whenever I mute this, I forget to unmute it, and I've literally ruined shows that way.
What's up with your car?
The Mini.
Yeah.
The Mini is across the street
let's talk
right
about
now
the Mini.
at Mini. I'm glad you brought that up. It went in for, I took it, whatever. There's been a long saga of this car, but
Okay, well, hold on, because you
But it's
test
great.
drove this car from WCCS, and I was there that day.
Yes.
You showed up, and I said, what are you doing? And you said, I'm test driving a Mini that has 100,000 miles on it.
Yes, I said I
"You're
don't-
out of your mind.
Why?
And you went, I thought you were out of your mind because you said the words Mini with 100,000
Oh,
miles
yeah,
on them,
okay.
and they're not known for their reliability. But you said this was a one-owner car.
Well, it depends. It
well-maintained.
depends because it's like all things. There's like the year that you want to avoid, and the year that has this is good, and the year that has this is bad, and all that crazy crap. So
Okay.
they're not all what you're talking about. Everything with the turbocharged, apparently 2007 and on, is exactly what you're talking about. They're all like, there's just problems. They're apparently just problems. But the original Mini that was designed by Frank Stephenson, the original first BMW Mini,
Right.
that first gen apparently is quite reliable. Because it's a TriStar engine or a tri-point engine, something like that. It was a Chrysler and BMW venture, assembled in Brazil, and then sent to England where they put the car together. Swear to God.
I believe you.
But supposedly that one's pretty good. There are issues if it's not maintained. In fact, almost all of them that aren't maintained or have just been thrashed or taken to the track or whatever. Like if you try to make it a Miata,
Yeah, they're not that.
and didn't do the service, it wasn't going to last like a Miata. It's a German car. You need to do all the servicings. A Miata, you could just beat the piss out of forever. And
Totally.
As long as you change the oil, it's fine.
If you want to.
Things will wear out, but it's never going to let you down. Anyway, the Mini is fine as
Like
long
a good
as those
relationship.
things are done.
Sorry. I was slow on that. Continue.
One of our favorite songs in Hawaii goes, "Your love like a good toilet paper never lets you down when the going gets tough."
Never gonna give you up. Always gonna
Oh,
help
Rick
you
roll.
wipe.
Anyway, so the 100,000 miles didn't bother me because it was such a nice, clean car. Now, there will be things underneath, and I knew that. There were some leaks. I knew that. I knew the power steering, whatever. The seat, I knew. So there were things that we knew about this one, but I was happy to do it because it was so clean elsewhere. One owner, not an enthusiast. So the guy did all the maintenance, but didn't thrash it.
Right.
So the things that are worn out do need to be, like there's some bushings, there's some things here and there. There are a couple leaks. But it's like a motor mounts, you know what I mean? Like just shit that would go wrong or that would go at 100,000 miles. But the motor is strong and the supercharger's strong. And that's kind of all I care about. And the exhaust and everything else is clean. Like
Nice.
drivetrain wise, everything's good. Oil leak, they got to figure out. And, power steering leak. It's not the pump though. It's just the hoses.
Cool. They're so fun. They're amazing
So
cars.
fun.
The interior packaging. My friend Thaddeus had one, and he's 6'4", like big dude.
Doesn't
and,
make sense.
But it had you just slide the seat back 4 feet,
it's
and it
bigger
had the
inside
rails for
than
that.
outside.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
make any
amazing.
sense.
And they're hold a lot of stuff. They're really great cars.
Super fun, and the design I just can't get enough of. And I love driving it. I mean, I love driving it. We love this car.
Frank Stephenson, by the way, has so many home runs in design. I mean, his catalog is awesome. And his YouTube channel, if people have not found it yet, where he just like
Found out about it on
refines,
Friday,
yeah.
and I haven't started watching them yet, but I just subscribed the other day.
It's cool. I mean, so what he designed a lot of cars, and what he does, he just takes a new car that came out, and he's like, here's what I like and don't like about it, and he grabs his, puts the image in an iPad, and he can kind of electronically draw on it,
Modify it.
and
Yeah.
modify it a little bit, and it's interesting. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, well, it's kind of a jerky thing to do, like, you're
I thought the
criticizing
same.
someone else's work, but I don't know.
But I
assume
like the
in the
results.
industry that, like, designers work together, so maybe he's just treating it like that. Like, he gets brought in and be like, here's what I would tweak. I don't know.
This
And I
mi-
do like the results.
This Mini is so good. I call it the new Beetle we didn't get, which makes me think like I love Freeman Thomas, who designed the new Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
He's been here. He's running Myers Manx right now. He designed the Audi TT, like incredible designer.
Yeah.
But when I think of the new Beetle and the Mini, like they came out, I don't know, five years apart, something like that. I don't know, whatever it is. Enough that it was the same era of car. And I think, whoa, wow. Like, I like the new Beetle, but I think to myself, could the new Beetle have been like the Mini? Like, could they have done that treatment on the Beetle? I would have loved to have seen that. Do you know what I'm saying without trying to say it? Like, when I look at a classic Beetle, I think timeless. And
Yeah.
then when I look at the new Beetle, I think, well, that's dated. That's not timeless. That shows exactly when it was made.
Yeah.
And then when I look at an old Mini, I see timeless. And when I see the new Mini, I think timeless. Not the new Mini, but Frank Stephenson's Gen 1 BMW Mini, I think timeless.
I agree with you. I don't know if the Beetle thing, like if it had a different design that paid enough homage, to the first one.
I don't know.
And carry the design forward, but it would still look timeless. That's tough because it's such a
But they did it with
such
the
a
Mini.
unique shape. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the front engine, the rear engine thing, I think maybe there's probably a lot of work there that they had to deal with.
Maybe. I mean, the original Beetle is like I've never thought it was a great looking car, but I know that it's
It's
very
classic and timeless.
It's classic.
It's got that
It's
mid-century
important.
look.
It's historical, I think. So for me, I look at the original Beetle. I go, this meant something. It has a lot of meaning to it, a lot of history behind it. And then the new one is like, oh, they're trying to connect to the nostalgia. Like that was one of the really early cars in the 2000s that had the nostalgic marketing along with the Mustang and everything else that followed it. But that was one of the early ones. It's like, remember the thing you used to like 40 years ago?
Yep.
Let's make it again.
So say 5, call it maybe 10 years from now, and the kids who like cars or whatever are looking at a pictures of a new Beetle and an old Beetle in one picture, and they go, oh, are those the same? And they go, well, they look the same, but they're probably not the same. And then if you looked at the old Mini and the new Mini and said, are those the same? They would say, yeah, those are the same.
Well, no,
Like if it didn't
I
have
disagree.
the emblem on it, I don't think you would know a new Beetle was the new Beetle. It just has that similar shape.
I think you would.
You would?
Yeah, I think they're similar enough. And I think the Mini, you would go, well, one of these is newer than the other. Because I don't, the original Mini
Right.
had very vertical lights. Then
But that's good. To me, that proves my point. Like, oh, okay, this is the new version of that.
I think
Whereas
kids would think the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they would think the old one is newer or that they're totally different cars. I think they look similar enough.
It's a very strange thing I'm trying to pose here, obviously.
It's okay.
But if there were no emblems on it, I don't think they would. I think they would go, oh, yeah, that clearly looks like that, but they're not actually the same.
Well, let's grab some kids and find out.
Good call.
Segue.
We have done it. Enough is enough. Let's wrap this thing up. I don't know. Oh, I threw away the card I needed. Doesn't matter. Couldn't have been that important.
Don't jump up, Nicole.
Thanks, Zach. Oh, listen to this guy making fun of your MS. Son
Way
of a bitch.
to play along finally.
That's called yes-anding, Jay Ryan. That's what that is. Doesn't matter how offensive I feel it is or other people might think it is, for the record.
But everyone heard
This is what
that
the
Zack
host
Klapman
wants.
just made fun of my wife's handicap. Everyone did hear
Because
that, right?
they told me to.
Okay.
Help me, I can't leave here. There's no doors.
Please follow the real Zack Klapman. You are the real Zack Klapman.
I am.
For a few years now, for a bit now.
Yeah, I realized it's really stupid to have your Instagram name be fake Zack Klapman. People go, well, I guess this isn't him.
Trying to get verified and follow you at the real Zack Klapman and the Smoking Tire, obviously. And are you doing anything else? You're so busy with Smoking Tire. You guys did so many videos lately.
We did a
You're
lot.
cranking out videos
Yeah, we're
like
cranking
crazy.
out videos. That's my full-time job. Matt's full-time job. Well, he does road and track and other stuff too, but that's what I'm focused on. So yeah, go watch our Civic Type R review. That came up today. And then watch the video of the BMW 135i that will air tomorrow.
Oh, the video comes out the same day that
The video
they win
comes
it?
out the same day the giveaway
That it
ends.
ends. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart. Very good. New Life of Old Nicole. Cars and Comedy Late Night Playset. More to come on that soon. We're tomorrow. God, geez, Peterson. Well, I got to pick up the Mini first, then the Peterson, then I got to go to the auto show to do that whole thing. Then we're doing other stuff. But Thursday, Cat DeLorean will be here. That'll be fun, and I'll have, I guess, been to preview day at the auto show at that point, which is its own weird thing. Whatever. Thank you, buddy. Thanks
Thanks
you
for
for
having
being
me.
here. I love
Very
you.
fun. Love you
Really,
too, man.
it's always
you.
fun when you come. I mean, it really is. Like there's no anything. You just show up. We don't have to plan anything.
Yeah, my writer was ignored, by the way. I want to note that on the air.
Well, every single M&M color is in there.
That's the
represented.
That's exactly the
You like the
problem.
potpourri.
Yeah.
Well. Producer Mike, am I forgetting anything else? Are we good?
Nope. I love you all very much.
All right. Love you too, buddy. Love you very much. We love you, Zack Klapman. We love all of you at home. Please love one another. Everybody on Instagram, thanks for being awesome. Have a great summer. Don't ever change. We'll see everybody out there.